So vitamin B12 is a super important vitamin, and it's a vitamin that I actually see really commonly to be deficient in my thyroid patients. So I wanted to share with you some of the reasons why there's a connection here and what you can do to improve your vitamin B12. But if you could do me a very big favor, if you could go ahead and subscribe to my channel and then hit the bell so you get a notification every time I release a new video every single week. So some stats for you that were very interesting for me when I started learning more about B12 is that nearly half of people that have hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's actually have a vitamin B12 deficiency. And I can vouch for that. I see this in my practice all the time. I have quite a few clients who are actually very, very deficient in B12. We need B12 for numerous different things. We need it for proper red blood cell formation. We need it for cognitive function. We need it for DNA synthesis. But one thing that I did notice when I started utilizing B12 with my clients is that it started alleviating some of their thyroid symptoms. So one thing to remember is that there's a huge prevalence where we see an association between anemia and hypothyroidism. So anemia is when your body lacks enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen to your body's tissue. And this is actually pretty common. That's going to cause a lot of tiredness, a lot of weakness. So it's something called pernicious anemia, and that can actually impact the absorption, and you'll have a lack of it, of B12. And so when we supplement with B12, that will actually lead to an improvement of hypothyroid symptoms. And this is also why I will see clients who actually, brain fog is a huge, huge symptom that I see with thyroid people, and we can actually see improvement as well in that, and that's because of the connection with B12 and cognitive function. So you can see how it really, really does benefit to have B12 on board, particularly getting it from food when we can for hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's. So B12, it can enhance your energy and endurance, like I mentioned. It will improve cognitive function, like I mentioned. But the other thing too is it also helps support healthy hair, skin, and nails. And when we have thyroid disease, and I can vouch for this, I had this myself. I had really poor hair health. My hair and skin and nails were just not in the best health when my kind of started on my thyroid journey. So B12 was really helpful for this. So where can you get B12 from? So Dietary sources is the best place to initially start with getting B12. Animal products has quite a bit of B12. Fish, meat, poultry, eggs has quite a bit as well. Milk and milk products, if you tolerate them. A lot of people with Hashimoto's do not tolerate dairy products, so I'm always a little mindful of that and a little cautious with that. But I know there's quite a bit of B12 in our protein sources. So like fish, meat, and poultry has quite a bit of B12. It's not really present as much in plant food, so just kind of keep that in mind. Now, as far as supplementation goes, B12 is pretty challenging. I have seen in my practice where B12 absorption is a little bit more of a challenge with hypothyroid people and Hashimoto's when we take it in pill form. And that some of that is because our gut health is usually off a little bit. Sometimes we have a hard time absorbing vitamins, minerals, and nutrients because of our thyroid disease. So in my experience, they do better with getting B12 either in like a powder form, which I utilize with my clients when I make a customized powder called Vicon when we do their hair tissue mineral analysis. But the other way that I like it as well is they make B12 patches. And they're these little patches that you just put right under your skin. They work quite well. So Patch MD is one that I really like. That is really fantastic. The other option as well is you can get B12 injections with your doctor. That's actually what I used to do back in the day when I was first on my thyroid journey. I no longer need it, but B12 injections worked quite well. And a lot of places also you can get the B12, the IV treatments with it as well. So there's a lot of different ways, but I do find that B12 does absorb a little bit better, especially for thyroid people when we're getting it either through the skin or via blood from like an injection or the IV way as well. So that's just an experience I've seen. And you know, as you start healing and getting better with the gut health and the thyroid symptoms start declining, I do notice that especially women, they will do better with other forms of B12 for supplementation. But in the beginning, they typically do a little bit better with like an injection. Most doctors, you can get a B12 injection as well. But I also would test for it. I do a couple different tests to assess that. But I will say that more often than not, I do see B12 deficiency with the majority of the women that I'm working with. So Just some other tips that I thought I would share with you when it comes to how you can get it, where you can get it from your food. I do, like I said, I like to get it from food first. But if you're really deficient, you are going to need it externally. So if you have any questions about B12, definitely let me know, or your experience with B12. I would love to know in the comments as well. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.